right then, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. The final game of the ESL Katowice Royale is just minutes away now. We've already crowned 3 champions in the 2 weekends that we have been here, and we have one more set of trophies to give away. The Duos Championship for our international tournament is sitting there looking pretty in the middle of the stage. Now, gentlemen, obviously welcome back to everyone else at home as well for this final game of the Katowice Royale. But before we get into it, we love having fun with our players, and they've done a fantastic job of entertaining us the entire time that we've been here in Poland. So we've got one more video piece for you guys to check out. This one is a little bit of fun.
No.
Yes.
Never.
Never?
No.
We don't do them.
Never. No.
Refused.
Hopefully never.
No, never.
No.
At the events, it's like not that much, but it sometimes happens.
It's really rare for me. I don't think I've ever been asked to make a Fortnite dance, but I'm not afraid. I'm not ashamed.
Yeah,
I think
that we usually do it like more often than our like fans actually ask us to do it. So like we do it more often by ourselves.
Yeah. Would you guys want to perform one for us right now?
Can you see it on the camera?
No. Nothing.
I mean, never, because we don't stream with face cams.
I don't have any fans.
Yeah, you do get that quite a bit, I guess, and you just try and push it off, I guess.
I've done it a few times. I had quite a few people ask me to do a dance, or like, you know, do the old dance, do floss, and I'll do it if they do it. That's like my rule, you know.
You know what I'm going to ask you, don't they? No, I won't do that to you. It's the final stretch here. We don't want to embarrass ourselves too much before we close out the show.
All I'll say is Zayt and Saf definitely have this at everybody else on their head, that take the L dance. I'm glad we got it off before I was on camera.
Well,
did a little bit.
Well, we do have a question for you guys actually coming in as well. We've loved the fact that you guys have been in touch with us the entire time that we've had the tournament going on. You can see it here. Who do you think is the most underrated player in the tournament? And that one actually comes in from Cristiano Ronaldo, so he's obviously a big fan.
Do you want to take this?
I'll give you one of mine, a duo that picked up a win earlier today. Milan and Smeeth, I think, flew under the radar for a lot of people, had good results, pretty consistent, and I think hearing them talk about how they changed up the game plan came into today, I think is the real big thing for me going forward, because this is only the first event that we're really seeing this type of competition. They'll take that with them to other tournaments.
I would say, you know, Tomo and Item, they've been really under the radar. Item completely new to this scene. You know, and it's the first time he's ever been to a big tournament like this, and he's really surprised. Not only in the solos he did really well, coming 11th, but you know he's currently, I think, 11th place right now. So he's, you know, he's keeping up to his actual pace, and that's remarkably consistent for your first event.
Yeah, and the thing about that top 10 placements is that they are still very much all up for grabs. We've talked about how Saf and Zayt have pretty much solidified that first place position going into our final game. But if you look at the standings here, you will see that underneath that, things are still very, very tight. There's a battle between Vinny and Zexro, Cripper and Boyer for that second place. And then if you keep your eye on those point tallies on the right-hand side, 4th place downward and that top 10, that can all change.
510 points for Skite and Vatu, who have flown under the radar ever since the first few games yesterday. But 510 is easily catchable. Pretty much Shinken and Stompy is roughly where that is, but we've seen players pick up 100, 110, 120-point games already today, so it's possible.
And then you've got Camo and Issa as well, and then Tomo and Item, like you were talking about, Camo and Issa, that'd be a huge performance for the controller crew if they manage to get into that top 10. They'll certainly have something to write home about if they can manage to pull that one off. But I think we have to talk about the 2 certain gentlemen who have been performing exceptionally well today. It's all good talking about the top 10, but there's only 2 trophies to be given away today. Saf and Zayt, the timing of those huge games that they had today, impeccable. I mean, coming into those games, do you think that they expected to pull off those kind of games?
Yes, I really do think they do. I mean, when we went to the interviews, you saw how confident they were, and just the execution in the most highly pressured situations. There was no breathing space for Zaf by himself, and he managed to get like 7th place in that game, picking up eliminations. But before that, the double victory royale as well. But again, mind-blowing plays. I've never seen a heel-off so spectacular with an aggressive Rift taking out the other team. In fact, it was Tomo and Item, I believe, that went down. It was
Zayt drops down with the Rift all the way back in round 11. If you didn't catch the end of that game, it was a magnificent play. But I think the interesting thing in talking about did they expect that, and you say yes, I think the evidence to support that is the fact that they were practicing that Rift play in the lead up to this tournament. So they're thinking about that end game on a level that as yet we haven't heard other players say. Perhaps others are doing it, but certainly Zayt and Saf are showing us.
Now, a question for you guys. We talk about consistency and how that is rewarded in Fortnite. How difficult is it to win back-to-back tournaments as a player, full stop? Because Saf, he's on the verge of doing that now. And if we have to remind everyone at home as well, the Secret Skirmish, they were randomized duos as well. So this guy has made himself arguably the top name in the world when it comes to duo, and then to have Zayt alongside him performing just as well as he is. Can anybody stop these guys at the moment?
No. Not right, not right now.
What about you, Stu?
Yeah, I'll be as short in the answer. No, not today. I don't think it would take a Herculean effort, as we said. Victory Royale plus around 20 kills.
Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's the final game here of the ESL Katowice Royale. It's been a fantastic couple of weekends. Let's bring this one home. It's time for our final round.
Once more into the bus as we dive in for round 14 of the Katowice Royale. Zayt and Saf landing pretty much in their usual place. And as much as we will follow them throughout the game, I think the contentious storyline, the one that can shift, is with the rest of the field, the top 10 that we were talking about. And I want to see who ends up dropping in, whether anybody's going to challenge the people around them in the points, or whether it's just a clean run for a team like Zexro and Vinny, who, yes, they're up in the top at duo rank 2, unlikely to be caught, but still, it's important for them to stay in on this.
Have we got Fax Fox up there as well? I guess on Viking Hill, I guess they're committed to that landing. We've got Boya and Cripper coming in down over Polar Peak here.
Who are in rank 3 right now as well. So we've already seen our points leaders start this game off. These are the 3 that you really have to keep your eyes on, and especially Boya, Cripper, Zexro, and Vinny.
We actually haven't seen much of a Happy Hamlet start, actually, Stress, in any of these games. So this is the first time I think we've kept with Boya and Cripper. It's going to be interesting to see how they deal with that other team that have landed with them as well.
Yeah, we'll see whether it's a happy result for Cripper and Boya, because dropping out early would be devastating. They're only 7 points currently. No, not 7. That's bad math. 47 points behind Vinny and Zexro. So a difficult task, but doable if Zexro and Vinny were to drop. We've seen them be challenged at Polar a couple of times and really not end up getting through to that late game because of the way Fax Fox and Aim Hero actually were challenging them. But Zexro and Vinny did end up winning that in the subsequent rounds.
Razaru dipping out of the football field by the looks of it. Doesn't want to commit to the fight against Scram and Sakona. It's a wise decision. Seems like he was a little bit underlooted and decides to back out a bit. And here we go, Max Caliber versus Cripper and Boya.
So who has done a split drop over at Loot Lake? I'm going to guess if that's the return of Mitro and Kuna, because they did this in a previous game. They drifted away from Loot Lake, but then kind of did a split drop, tried to separate as much loot as they could and run on. Fax Fox, completely different area. They're down in Paradise, so they have given up on the chase. Now they're going for Jamside and 7SSK7, who I wonder whether they're able to catch them in the points, as we see Ares in the elimination feed pick off Poach. Another early exit, unfortunately, for the Liquid member. And from here, Pop Rocks from the top of that cliff. Kinzel and Velex are trying to take out the Polish duo in the very last game. The crowd here in anticipation, hoping that Tajovski can fire back.
I hope so. I hope the Polish Cannonball can actually own this up.
Did Velex? Jesse just clipped him as he came off the cliff, and clips Nero as well. Jesse from the distance trying to take off anyone that they can. Velex has been eliminated, and they were in rank 6.
But Sticky's coming in there. There's a little bit of pressure coming in from above. Tajovski trying to find the other pick here inside of the disco. Can't find anybody yet. Where's that hiding spot there? Is he underneath the stage?
Well, we'll...
He is!
Yeah, he actually is.
That is such
Nero
a smart
down
hiding
there?
spot. I didn't even know about that. That's so clever. Katowice's desperately trying to find this
oh, it's
elimination.
Kinzel that's down there under the stage. As we jump over to Coffee and Beehive, and Beehive has already taken down History. I saw the name Scram come up in the action feed as well, picking off X8. Scram had a great last game, considering he was down to, what, 6 health, sat under a pyramid with Zayt and Saf running around on top of him. So maybe another game that we'll see. So that was close far. Basically landed right in front of his face.
Yeah, and he's getting another one as well. These Clingers doing some work. Coffee doing some work with that minigun, putting the pressure onto Far. He has to back out here, but no, his only option is now to go on the aggressive side of things, but it's not going to happen. The minigun's too strong.
Either minigun's going to shred through. Far ends up dropping, and unfortunately, Far and History clapped out of this game by Beehive, and that spells the end of the Brazilian representatives' ESL Katowice Royale experience. I think they did a good job. Like, I think they were very fun to watch. They put up some results as well, and I think they can say they did proud.
Yeah, I think they've done Brazil very, very proud here. And Jesse and Jordan, just this positioning with the pistols here.
Speaking of you know, an international duo, Jesse and Jordan, the X2 twins. Rank 33 right now. I think a lot of people had massive expectations, almost perhaps insurmountable expectations, because of how well they were crushing in their region. And, you know, the pressure of playing at the highest level, I think they've done good. We've definitely seen them in games perform. But Saf and Zayt are on another level, I think, to almost everybody in this lobby that we've seen.
Yeah, definitely. And it seems like we've got a bit of a skiff going on here. The great high ground here from Blacks up the top there. It's just waiting for an opportunity to get the laser on. And Jesse and Jordan, they've done fantastic, as you were saying. You know, they've absolutely nailed it. I mean, to get a victory royale in a tournament like this is no easy feat. And they got to come away with this thinking, you know, we can do better next time.
And what you have to look at is an Oceanic duo picking up international experience going towards a World Cup later on in the year is massive. No other duo right now can say that from the Oceanic region. So definitely they'll take a lot of this back with them. And, you know, this game isn't done either. So if they can perhaps pick up a victory royale here, that would top off their points very nicely. And we've already told you how the standings are very volatile right now. They can shift with whoever wins this game quite drastically.
Yes, very much so. Pretty much from 2 to 15, there's going to be some leaps and jumps here as the action continues. And Eric and Motor actually have Divot here.
Just trying to peek out that scoped revolver that players have been saying, just to tag people across the map.
But where's Bizzle and DMO?
Where are Bizzle and DMO? Typically, Dusty is their drop, and we've seen them do very well from that. Eric is just trying to just take anything he can at this point to stay above the storm surge that inevitably will at least flash up.
They haven't gotten any eliminations, so maybe they dipped out, Bizzle and Demo.
Oh, gets that tag. There you go. Add it on to the total. That'll keep you a little bit safer later as we go through that storm surge phase, which is bound to drop off and come through. Kind of the third and fourth storm is where we see it really have that prevalence. Smeef and Milan, I said that they were underestimated coming into this tournament, and I think they have done very well for themselves as well. In this last round, I think there's so many duos that I want to say, yeah, they've actually done a good job. Like, they're great. Like, I really think that they can take this back with them. And Milan and Smeef, as we said, still around that 20th spot, but a good performance can jump them up. We said it's only a few points in between.
Yeah, and they're going to be fighting off against Izzet and Camo here. This is going to be super interesting. Who's going to make the first exchange of damage? They're taking this AR range battle pretty seriously. And the little fireworks display going off there.
Are these fireworks for Saf and Zayt? Not yet. There may be some if they can convert this without being taken down in the early game, and they've done it very well. Camo, another player who, you know, he had that world record solos versus squads video he posted coming in before IEM Katowice, or the Katowice Royale. And I think we've definitely seen flashes of that come through. Same with Mitro. So many player storylines to follow through on, and Mitro will pick himself up, or sorry, Kuna will pick himself up that first elimination. It's Aries that is now fighting 1 versus 2 as Mitro drops down to the low ground, tries to find himself, and Aries has 2 eliminations already. Mitro on 3 health survives the exchange, and Kuna picks that one up.
Very nicely done from Mitro and Kuna there. Very tidy, very smart And slightly unlucky for the Ares and Noad, but they did perform incredibly well here at the tournament as well.
Airwax drops down to very low health alongside Nikov. Airwax and Nikov put themselves with a victory royale to start the day in a good position. After yesterday, not everything went their way. So
I wouldn't say that, Stress. I mean, they were pretty on the heels, like climbing the ladder. Like the first game was probably bad, but then they were like, bum, 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 bum.
There were definitely a few games that I think Airwax and Nikov not too happy about, to put it one way, for themselves, but have definitely come back into this. Airwax, I think, just got dropped by Poverty for now. We'll see whether they can fight back in. As Animal and Aspect are winners of the last round here.
This is getting a bit mental, this fight. How many teams are here? Is that 4 teams around this surrounding area?
Yeah, there's a lot of players around here. Tajovsky and Nero, Polish crowd have been behind them all the time that we've seen them playing.
Sounds like the crowd's kicking off for Tajovsky as well, the Polish Cannonball.
Polish Cannonball. Is that really his nickname now?
It's going to be.
Calling him?
Why not? I mean, he's done his proud.
Poverty and Zeke up on the top of this structure. And this game, very much like the last one, a lot slower to bring through. Airwax, Nikov is nowhere near him, so Airwax is going to take an early exit from this game. 82nd place on this one as Poverty gets the kill credit for that.
Yeah, we still got 42 teams out there. Everything's kind of slowing a little bit down. Nobody wants to commit. Everybody wants to gain some big points here, Stress. So
here we go. Talking of big points. Zexro and Vinny have been performing magnificently this entire tournament. They got challenged by Aim Hero and Fax Fox at their landing zone very early on for many games today, but they managed to win that fight and have been able to secure it for themselves. They are at 0 eliminations, but it's all about the points now to try and hold their second spot.
Yeah, they had a different team land on them in this last game, though, which is kind of interesting. It wasn't Aim Hero or Fax Fox, but somebody else, but be interesting to see how that fight actually concluded. I'm not sure if I saw the eliminations while they're up on the screen, but Blood, X, Zappen, coming in aggressive on the low ground here.
Looking for Nate Hill, who seems to be at least split off or on a minimum on his own from this, and he tries to get around the corner, a bit of ring around the rosy. He's trying to find anything he can, but he is pinched from both sides, and BloodX finishes off Nate Hill.
Yeah, nice play there coming in from BloodX and Zappen. Really calculated play. As soon as Nate ran out, they knew they could just hold that ramp area and wait either side. Bam, pinched.
Here we go. Jesse's got that one elimination to his name. Now trying to fight up against Keolis and Maxaliber, who have done a good job themselves of getting into the late game very frequently in these 14 rounds that we've seen. Another duo that's done well. Shinken and Stompy have a victory royale to their name. And that's really the thing. There are only 2 duos who have repeat victory royale. It's Zayt and Saf, and then Animal and Aspect have been the only duos to put up at least 1 win, with Saf and Zayt having 3 to their name.
Americans too strong right now, Stress.
It's definitely the case.
America, please.
Definitely the case so far in this. You can see the overall leaderboards in the top left of your screen. Jamsite and 7SSK, I think they've slowed down a little bit today, but yesterday they were just going for every single engage. Skype and Vato up there as well in 4th place, so really we've seen a lot of movement in the standings, and movement from Jesse as he tries to come over the top and look for the engage onto Stompy. Doesn't quite find it, will slow down, and the X2 twins will take a breather.
Yeah, and we take the action over to 7SSK and Jam side. These guys right now are currently 5th right now, and they've been holding top 5 consistently throughout the 2 days.
They've been good.
They've been amazing. This Russian pair have been owning it up.
That might be another underestimated duo, because in the first games we saw them really putting up the numbers, and I think it's been such an interesting way of shifting around the different games. We just saw Tajovsky unfortunately fall.
The Polish Cannonball gone. Sad.
2 Rift to goes for 7SSK7, and those lightning bolts mean that Storm Surge is starting to hit. We've seen players trying to play around it, and unfortunately for Isma and Lolito, looks like they are the targets as Isma smote down from the heavens as, and you know, it's one of those things that players have been trying to play around a lot more, trying to be more aggressive where they can. But with this many players left in the lobby, there's always going to be somebody that's struck by it.
Seth actually currently in rank 21 as well, so he's going to be happy to pick up those eliminations, get some more points on the board. grind up to the ladder, hopefully, and get into that top 20 placement. Nero has now been eliminated.
Yeah.
He will finish rank 45.
Yeah, that was Tajovski's duo. They had a good performance in a few games that we saw. But again, this game moves on, and there are many players left in it. There's 7 SSK, 7 Jamside, Camo, Issa, Majin, who placed second in solos, is still in this game. Hunter, that's Keenstar's duo backing themselves away as Camo trying to just rain anything he can through. Vinny gets item. That's a big pick that we're talking about that affects that top 10 standings for now. Issa and Camo just SMG spray after SMG spray, trying to lock down the 5th place team, but they can't quite break through those walls, and Issa and Camo are going to have to give this one up for now.
Yeah, we're going to see a retaliation here from Jamside and 7 SSK.
Ooh,
I think they're just going to back it out and play it safe for the time being.
Everyone's so focused on Jamside and SSK, 7 SSK7 that Animal and Aspect are just running, jumping through the terrain just with nobody firing at them at first. 7 SSK7 incredibly low, and this is just a relentless onslaught from the SMGs. And now they push, now they try and close the distance because they know the damage has been done, and Edit through the window doesn't quite get it at first.
Oh my God!
Getting the first one. Camo looks for another as Issa drops low, but it's enough to convert for Camo and Issa to pick up 2 eliminations for themselves.
And they say that console players can't edit. That was insanely quickly.
They
that was amazing control play.
Absolutely can edit, and we just saw it in action, and now the storm rolls through. It's Vinny and Zextro trying to maintain position for themselves as Zaipan and BloodX are in the area. Jesse picks off Nikov. Again, that's Airwax had already fallen. Nikov and Airwax now out of round 14. And that's the end to their ESL Katowice. They can no longer pick up points in this game, so they are at the mercy of everybody else around them in the standings.
Smeef hammering out some of those smellies, doing some stinking. He's doing a good job. I think Miz might go down here. He's super low. I think he did.
He did. It was Beehive that will get the knock credit for now, but that is not 5 points. You have to get that elimination for it. As I did see Beehive's name come up once again in the action feed.
Smeef, I'm going to be a little bit peeved about that. You know, he did the move to make the rotation happen. He was going to lob in probably another stink on top of it to finish it off, but unfortunately Beehive was on the receiving end.
The crowd still have at least one horse in this race. His name is Hupek, and he is stuck right by Milan and Smeef, and unfortunately is on low health and low shield. If he can get through, this should be a pretty miraculous way through, but these are our points leaders. Zayt is in the open, taking the L in front of the entire field, and that is a metaphor for their current standings.
I love
200
it.
points.
I absolutely love it, Stress. On the top of the mountain with that vista view, they're just doing the L to let everyone know that they're taking this home tonight.
Oh, absolutely, it's insurmountable. There's only 60 players left in this lobby, and Vinny and Zextro would need all of them, basically, if they wanted to pick this one up. Wexy now raining down from the top onto Zextro. This is our 2nd place team. If Zextro were to fall here, it would be devastating for their chance. And Vinny is stuck in the storm. He cannot now jump out away, and he just took massive damage from it as well. Milan getting rained down on, as is Bowman.
Yeah, they're just having to go around the circle here on the side of it, going the long way. They don't want to, they just want to push in, but they're getting pressured either side.
Let's talk about it. They're on the hill. Zayt and Saf, like, he was taking the L up there, but the position they find themselves in once again is near perfect.
Oh, they didn't have to travel far. They've been up there a while. Let's just say that. I mean, they get rotated from Loot Lake, went straight up onto that hill as soon as it was in the circle, and, you know, just wait patiently. And now they're being rewarded with it with the best circle of their life.
Yeah, the scoped assault rifle, just easy to just eat through the shields, eat through the health, anything that they can, and you can see how far away. I said nearly 200. That would be after this game. They are currently 161 points clear of 2nd place.
And the rotation is starting to happen. Everyone wants to get on the other side of that other hill, opposite the big hill here.
Yep, that does mean Zayt and Sap do have to move, and they're now not quite in the
they're going to go aggro on this team.
They're going to go aggro, try and pick up anything. That's Mota there. Mota almost gets that wall replaced, but look, 1 versus 2. Over the top, though, I think is going Zayt. Zayt trying to find that angle, doesn't quite get it for now, and we're looking at it. They got Mota. They actually got him.
They're so quick that, you know, it just happens so fast. the edit play is coming so quick. And it's
got Eric as well, by the way, so that's 2 eliminations to add to the total. But we've got to look at the rest of the field. Violinen in a good position. Cripper and Boya, they're in 3rd place right now, and they are chasing Zexro and Vinny, who realistically, Zexro and Vinny just need to do as well as
to hold that lead,
to hold that 2nd place. There's about a 50-point difference between them. Scram, having a good 2nd half of the day, just picks up 1 for himself as Cripper extends that lead that they are trying to keep for 3rd place at this. Saf drops down, Violinen trying to get any damage he can, and Zate is trying to follow.
Yeah, there's a slow rotate. They're happy with those early happy with that early push.
Oh! Violinen all the way across the valley picks himself 1 up for their points total. Demo and Bizzle down at the bottom. We can see Cripper and Boya running all the way back thanks to that X-ray. We've got Jules, who picked up a victory royale early on yesterday. In fact, I believe it was in the solos. So many victory royales we have had, over 21 games split across solos and duos. And Mitro and Kuna have done very well throughout this tournament. And look at this inventory. He's got an RPG, he's got a heavy shotgun, he's got a silenced AR as well. Good position for him as Boya in the action feed picks 1 up for himself, and Scram has made an exit from this as he was just taken down.
I am very concerned, Stress.
You're very concerned?
Yes.
What's the concern about, Zakibus?
Where's Vinny? Where's Zextro?
Where is Vinny and Zextro? Well, we just saw Saf pick up an elimination. We're getting a wide angle because we're going to play... Where's Wally, basically?
Yeah, basically.
Looking for the name. Can't find him, and Violinen just manages to save himself. Has 2 whiff to go if he needs to use them. We will try and track Zextro and Vinny down, but you are right.
I think they're gone, Stress.
Seem to have shown up in this exchange. Saf and Zayd are right here with Boya. Boya needs to survive through this if they want to try and chase 2nd place, and it's Saf and Zayd with 4 eliminations again. Is there anything they cannot do? As there is 26 players left in this game, and Boya is now locked in the storm, facing the leaders, the best duo we've seen. And look at the performance he puts out for now. Boya's still stuck in the zone. He goes over the top. Can he actually finish off? And has he got away? And Boya is looking for it. He's taken down a lot of health from Zayd and Saf, and that means Zayd now has to play incredibly carefully around the side. Boya disengages from the fight. Animal falls into the back. He's in the zone. He's out of round 14, and Zayd needs to keep himself alive, but they've already really won the tournament from here. Zayd is going to get shredded down, and once again, Saf finds himself without his duo, and it's all about converting this through to the end of the tournament. Llama drops next to Saf, and Saf really in a rough position from here, but he got Rizard in exchange. Saf now will drop as Keenstar picks it up. The leaders are out, but they surely have done enough. End of round 14 is close. Demo and Bizzle all the way up the top. Boya, he was in a dangerous position, but is being able to stabilize for now. A lot of raining down from Bizzle on top of him with 9 players remain.
This could be huge for Ghost, Bizzle, and Demo. They've got the high ground. They're controlling this so well right now.
Boya is out. Mitro and Kuna are still in. Fwexy, Dementos, Bizzle, Demo. Blacks and the Vic, who have also picked up a victory royale during ESL Katowice. There are not many people left, and really Mitro and Kuna are the ones that we have to keep our eyes on, and Demo and Bizzle for that fight on the leaderboard. They have 5 eliminations to their name already, and every single elimination ticks them up, but we are going off the cliff edge for the end of this game.
The Vic has just gone down to Kuna. Kuna cleans up that elimination very nicely, picking up some extra shield there for himself, as we have a little bit of a build-off coming in from Bizzle and Demo.
Kuna.
They're getting the high ground, but they're going to have to drop down. This could be dangerous here for Ghost Bizzle. And he's got the redeploy.
But now he's a sitting duck. Demo has been dropped as well. Nobody is looking to the skies. I don't know whether they weren't expecting the redeploy to come through. He's in the zone as Fwexy picks 1 up for himself. 5 players remain in the end of this. Compact SMG is loaded, as is that silenced AR, and they're going to try and pick up anything they can. Bizzle trying to steady himself as 4 players remain. Bizzle peeks. Bizzle picks up 1. Bizzle has he done it? It's Mitro that secures round 14 of the ESL Katowice Royale and sends shockwaves through the standings.
Holy moly, Stress. The exchange at the end there. For a minute there, I thought Bizzle was going to clutch that up. Great edit play coming in with the shotgun play. Everybody contested on that low ground, all fighting in the pit of death in the river. It was absolutely what we wanted for a final game.
Just like the solos, we have no idea of the rest of the standings.
Fantastic stuff then from Mitro and Kuna, the winners of our final game here at the ESL Katowice Royale. Big stuff from them, big fan favorites as well. What a way it was for those guys to close it out. Oh, what a way to end things out, gentlemen, here. I mean, I think we pretty much know what's kind of happened outside of that, but let's talk about these two guys first, because what a way to finish it. As I say, big fan favorites. Mitro, obviously a big character himself, and great to see more talent picking up Victory Royales.
Yeah, absolutely. A name that has just been around the European scene, and people put so much stock in Mitro, and that's legitimizing it now. Getting that Victory Royale, pumping yourself up the standings. He's had great performances before, don't get me wrong, but again, just continuing. Consistency across tournaments is the other thing.
Oh, yeah, he's been consistent across everything that he's played in so far. He's just been outstanding. And, you know, he really stepped up the gears towards the late end of this day. You know, they're a little bit far behind, but that's going to give them a significant boost, I would guess. I think they were just outside.
Like 11th.
11th.
Leading into that game, 11th.
So obviously some big changes in that top 10, gentlemen. Sending shockwaves through the top 10. What's that going to mean for these two guys, though? Because obviously there's a lot of hope pinned on these guys before the tournament for Europe. Is that going to give the Europeans a bit more hope? It's a great way to finish out, showing they can mix with the best in the world.
Of course, yeah. I mean, like, we always want to do our best against America. You know, that old rivalry. It's always there when it comes to esports, and we love it, really. I mean, it's just so good to see. But the Americans just outclassed everything right this event.
They absolutely did at the top of the table. We did have, you know, Cripper, Boyer did well. We had 7SSK7 do well. So it's not like it's an American top 10, but when you look at the level the Americans won, it took AIM Hero and FaxFox dropping on Vinny and Zexro like 5 games in a row to upset the top of the standings, but upset the top of the standings they did.
Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, I think we already know it's somewhat of a foregone conclusion. It was the victory lap for these two gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, your duos champions for ESL Katowice Royale, it is, of course, Saffins8. No surprises there, gentlemen. What a performance from these two guys. The L Dance came out in that final game. They knew what they were doing. They knew it was all over, but it was all about those big bomb performances in those late games today.
They have that late game figured out. I would say better than anybody that I have seen in competitive Fortnite. Like, actually, just that late game is spectacular from them.
Honestly, I don't know how they're so consistent, how they push out all of these energies and all of this stuff that they've been doing.
Ladies and gentlemen, then, for the final time, it's been an incredible time here at Katowice. Give it up for Saffins8!
Ladies and gentlemen, your duos champion, Saffins8! Congratulations, guys. Come forward, just come forward for me. What an incredible couple of days you guys have had. Not only a birthday boy, now a champion. Fellas, how do you feel right now?
I have no words. I don't know. It's a weird feeling.
Saf as well, how do you feel? I mean, obviously you guys dominated, particularly today, but the whole competition, consistent, things went pretty much as good as they could have gone.
I feel great. Everything went well, and we won.
Was it nice as well? Obviously, you were a secret skirmish champion earlier this year as well. How nice is it to have a victory here with your man Zake?
We had one a while back in summer skirmish. It's basically the same. I mean, not the same feeling, but it's there.
Where did everything go so right this weekend, guys? Obviously, people watching at home, consistent eliminations, victory royales as well. What worked so well for you guys as a team?
Most of it, like most of the reason why we had like so much success was because we avoided a lot of players, yeah.
Because these, I mean, you're against the best in the world here as well. Is it always nice to test yourselves against this kind of competition? Obviously, there is a recently announced big event happening later on this year as well. This must give you all the confidence in the world.
Yeah, obviously it's awesome going against different competitors from all around the world and feels great.
Of course, as well, we're looking at you guys with these trophies, but also you've won $80,000, baby. Woo! What are you going to do with the money? What happens from this point onwards?
I'm just going to save it. I really don't know what I'm going to do with my money yet. You know? I don't know.
Sensible, thinking ahead. I like that, guys. And lastly, I must say, what has your experience been like here in Poland at Katowice Royale? Have you enjoyed every single second of this?
Yeah, like from start to end, like everything's been awesome. All the boys, the EU boys, especially, I was like, I didn't know how they were, but they're really nice, and like all the staff, it's awesome, man.
Everything's been great so far, and yeah.
Would you please give it up one more time for your ESL Katowice Royale Duos champions, Zay and Sam! Unbelievable, unbelievable from start to finish, you guys. Absolutely rocked it. That is it from here on the main stage. It has been an incredible 10 days or so with the Polish edition as well, and this weekend too. Thank you guys so much. A huge shout out to the production team, ESL, to Epic Games, to all the amazing casting team we have here as well, all the brilliant players, all the audience here, you guys, all you guys at home as well. It's been an absolute joy, a dream come true. Thank you so much. For now though, that's it for the main stage. Back to Mark one more time. Saf and Zays!
Awesome stuff, gentlemen. Awesome stuff. Massive congratulations to Saf and Zay, and the happiest of birthdays possible.
Yeah, for sure. I love the modesty as well. Everything's modest, subdued in a good way. And then he's like, we avoided a lot of players. And I'm like, you had like a 13-kill game? Yeah. 11 elimination game? Like, what is avoiding players? What's not avoiding players?
78 players is what they're saying, but they took out as many as they could. Zakubus, thoughts on that performance from these two gentlemen?
Absolutely outstanding. Every step of the way. They never let their guard down once. They were just so consistent throughout each day. And, you know, when they needed to be aggressive, when they needed to step it up, they took it to a whole another level.
Yeah, they took on all challenges, and yes, they had the points difference going into the last game, but even then, they were still fighting for it, still at every moment. Only to take the L out in the open, which is, you know, a massive statement on that. No bad side about that. They knew that they had this in the bag getting into the place.
The point is, if you put yourself in that position, why not have a little bit of fun at the end of the game, you know? They dominated today. I mean, it was the consistency on day one that was so impressive, but the way that they came out, I think it was game 13, 14, sorry, 13, 14.
Yeah, 11
games.
and
11
12,
to 13, essentially. Even that 13th game where Saf was staying alive as well. Those were the game-changing games, and I think what we've learned from this format, as we see these two gentlemen on stage, is the fact that consistency isn't everything. You have to have those big elimination games in order to be stood there on that stage like these two gentlemen holding those trophies.
And I think it might sound a little bit strange to put it this way, but I think the moment where it went from they're good to they're great and on another level was that Rift play. Like, that was the moment where you think, okay, they are playing a completely different game because they were already thinking about this.
It's not even just the Rift play. I mean, that was genius, next level, 200 IQ. But I mean, even in the next game at Polar Peak, you know, they're holding back on the explodes for that late game because they know that if they hold on to them for as long as possible and save them up, they're going to knock down everything. And that's what they did. I believe Turks and Provoke tried to take the high ground from them. They even had a Rift to go. And it was no good. Wasn't enough.
And look, we should obviously talk about some of the other teams that we've had here, some of the other duos who have performed well. I know that you guys were saying, you know, you were impressed with some certain duos today. Who would be your takeaway team that impressed you the most, apart from our obvious winners, as we, of course, do see our final duo standing points tally?
I want to give a lot of credit to Crippa Boyer, Vinny, and Zexro, who end up respectively second and third. I think Vinny and Zexro had a fantastic day one. Game two was great. We saw with that Victory Royale, Mitro and Kuna jump up into fifth. Can't overlook Demo and Bizzle, who were consistent as well. Every single duo here, I think, has just done so well.
Yes, Ghost Camo and Issa made it into the top 10 as well. Come on, the Controller crew. That's a huge performance from them, showing that the Controller guys can hang with the best in the world on the PC. But Airwax, Nikoff, just outside the top 10 there. But so many players having such great performances across across the board. And you can just see, even from these standards, how close it was.
Dementos and Fwexy even putting in a great performance. I saw Mongrel tweeting about how good they did in that last zone as well. We were so focused on the fact that Mitro took it and we had our winners already, but certainly showing up for themselves. A couple of UK players as well coming through, doing very well, which for us is obviously having been in the UK esports scene for a while. It's really nice to see players performing in multiple games now where we're seeing results get put up.
And it has been fantastic to see not only the people who are at the top of the leaderboard, all of the different nationalities here in Poland fighting out the first real, truly international feel to a tournament and having all of these different play styles, all these different cultures coming together in one place. It's been so much fun. It really has.
And I want to put it this way, even if we didn't just talk about your duo that is your favorite, and they placed anywhere, like, they did a good job. Like, all of the players were in games that looked interesting. I think so many players came in with low expectations on them and overperformed. Some, you know, did very, very well. So I just had a great, great 2 days of duos and a day of solos that I think just showed what competitive Fortnite can do.
Gentlemen, now it is.
Don't say it.
I'm going to have to say it.
Oh,
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, guys. It is time, unfortunately, for us to say goodbye. It has been an incredible time here in Katowice, Poland. Thank you so much to all of the players, spectators, talent team, production, every single person who has been involved in putting together this tournament. But a special shout out has to go to our final champions. Of course, it was Saf and Zay. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time.